sound here. It's pumping here.
For me, the service of Robin Soderling is going to be a big factor in this match. And he can dictate off that first shot and not allow Federer to get settled. It'll go a long way to making it very uncomfortable for Roger Federer tonight. He's got one of the most accurate serves on the tour, I believe, Robin Soderling, and it's very heavy as well. He's generally over the 130 mark. And just see how he plays in these conditions. It is tricky.
Well read from Federer.
It'll be interesting to see how Robin Soderling gets a very high ball toss on his serve. And see how that holds up against this near gale force wind that we have out here on centre court at the moment.
Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it? Who will be more affected from this wind? You would suspect it's Soderling. He likes the ball always in his strike zone. It won't be that easy with this wind. Federer's a lot more used to playing out here. He's played a lot of big matches in these types of windy conditions.
Even though Soderling's technique's a little bit funky, it's very sound. And both players have very sound technique, and it generally holds up pretty good in the wind.
You'll probably see Soderling at the end he is at now. That's the difficult end, hitting into the wind. You can see the wind there just going down the court. You would think Soderling has a pretty good ability to hit through the window, like flatten it out.
Yeah, he's a very linear player. He likes to take the ball from one quarter to the next very quickly. So against the wind, I don't think he had too much trouble with whether he can control his ball up the end that Federer is right now.
See that ball just sail off the racket of Federer. Barely touched it.
You just see it. That's an illustration of Robin Soderling's power when he gets out wide. When he's forced out wide, he has a great ability to hit a real forcing shot from a difficult position. And I don't think Roger Federer was ready for that one. He's a bit caught unawares and don't get it right down the wind. It just flies on you.
Good start for the Swede. Holding serve. Just settle the nerves.
He certainly looks confident, doesn't he, Robin Soderling? I think that win that he had against Roger Federer at Roland Garros has really elevated his confidence level against the top players.
Well, he can play on every surface. He's a gun on clay. He's made the last 2 French Open finals. He can play very well indoors, hard courts. He can do it all. So he's a really tricky customer, and he's knocking on that door, isn't he? He's number 5 in the world here, but he's certainly knocking on the door to break through in the ranks. You've got Murray and Djokovic ahead of him, and obviously Nadal and Federer. And he's not far away from Djokovic and Murray.
He certainly has transcended his game in the last year or so. Even though he made those Roland Garros finals, before that he wasn't a clay courter at all. He loved the indoor conditions where the ball just came onto his racket. And you wouldn't have put Robin Soderling in the top 15 on a clay court. But obviously the help with Magnus Norman, former number 2 in the world, French Open finalist, has completely elevated his game to the next level. And he is one of the big danger men on the tour at the moment, Robin Soderling. You don't see that very often, do you, Josh?
No, and we've seen it from both players. A couple of shank forehands into the crowd. But I still like the way that both these guys are being aggressive, going out after it. That'll be the end, won't it? The one where Federer is serving from. Where you would imagine there'll be a few breaks, particularly from that end. Serving into the wind.
Yeah, that ball of Soderling will come onto you at just that fraction quicker as it did on that occasion. both look like they've come out with a good mindset in the wind.
So Soderling, after that double fault, earns a break point.
An early chance here for Robin Soderling to take the ascendancy.
Just long. Challenge straight away from Federer. And it's in.
Oh, by the barest of margins.
Unbelievable. It's a good challenge. They'll replay the point.
That's a big point of the context early on in this match.
Just.
Well,
Robin, the call is coming after you hit the ball.
so this is a tough call from the ref as well.
Robin, in my judgment, the call did not disturb you to make that call, that shot.
Well, Soderling's just said to Federer, you want it? As if to say, you want to take a point like that? Absolutely he does.
I don't think there's too much love lost between these two. And Robin Soderling likes to get in the face of your opponent. It's great hitting for Robin Soderling. And great reaction as well. Just on that call, that's a big call from the umpire, isn't it? Robin Soderling had a hit on that ball. It's just a complete judgment call whether he thought that the umpire called it after or before Soderling made contact with the ball. Good response there from Federer.
Yes.
It'll be interesting to see how Federer responds to that, because I cannot tell you the last time any player would have spoken to Federer or just even challenged him by asking him a
Certainly not
question.
confronted too often, is he, Josh?
No.
He's come out of the blocks quickly, Soderling, whereas Federer, on the other hand, looks a little bit nervy. He's made quite a few unforced errors already off that forehand side, which can become a bit of a liability, especially when it's somewhat breezy out there.
Saves it in the best possible fashion with an ace.
Yes.
Worry for Federer also here. He's made 70% of first serves in, and he's on his third juice.
Well, I don't think he'll be panicking, either player, when they're serving down that end. Obviously, they'll be desperate to hold serve, but there's going to be some breaks for sure down there. It's just very difficult to get any power, any free points. So Federer dodges a bullet, saves a few break points. Bit of tension between these two boys. It's one game all, first set.
You wouldn't expect anything less, would you? Quarter-final of a US Open. There's got to be some kind of tension, and this man on screen, he creates that tension. He loves to get into a little bit of a war out there, make it a little bit personal at the same time. Good jamming body serve from Soderling.
Just wonder whether we see Federer try and hit and come in a bit on return, chip and move forward.
It's tough to do. Soderling has a very heavy serve. As you can see there, over 130 mark already. crisp hitting from both players. If you hit the ball in the pocket of Robin Soderling, he will hit it back twice as hard at you. You've got to get the big man on the full stretch running, defending balls, which is not that easy because he does just punish the ball.
Oh, that's good stuff. Robin Soderling.
Well, that's what the crowd's come to see, haven't they, Josh?
Oh, this point had it all. Big hitting from both players. A bit of touch from Federer. The movement there from Soderling, and was able to get balanced, keep his eye on the ball.
Well, that lob would have been a good shot normally. It just got caught in the wind. It gave Robin Soderling plenty of time to get back to it. He's confident, isn't he, Soderling? That's going to hurt in the morning.
It's very much favourable for Soderling. When you come out and you're playing number 1 or number 2 seed, you got to play big, and that suits Soderling. That's his game. So Robin Soderling holding serve. Good start for the big Swede. 2 games to 1. First set. Well, good start. He's just having a word there to the umpire about that call. So Caroline Wozniacki through, where she will take on the Wimbledon finalist, Vera Zvonareva, in good form. And then down the bottom, you've got Venus Williams and Kim Clijsters. So some pretty big names left in the women's singles here. And Wayne, I thought she might have had a different answer about Donald Trump there.
Please explain, Josh.
Well, I just thought, thought she had the opportunity to say, "You're fired." She should have. Would have been good. He's got to be more aggressive here, Federer. He can't just be pushed around like he is at the moment from Soderling.
You see that last shot, the wind just curled that back into Federer. He was expecting it to be right in his hitting range. It just curled back at the last moment, sending that one long.
Gwen Stefani sitting next to Federer's wife, Mirka with the white scarf on. Pashmina.
A lot of stars around tonight, isn't there, Josh?
Thierry Henry we saw as well.
We did see Thierry Henry. There's Gavin Rossdale in front of Mirka. And a snapshot of what Roger Federer is going to look like in about 25 years.
Roger Federer's father.
30-15.
When the stars come out to play, the stars arrive in the crowd, don't they?
Getting to that stage of the event. Good serving here from Federer, very accurate. None better in the game than Federer.
It's just going to be a must-hold, isn't it, down the end that Federer is. You'd expect that most of the breaks will come down the Soderling end.
Good balance here. Stayed on the ball, kept the head still. 2 games all, first set.
2 games all, first set.
This is the end, isn't it, where Federer returning from where you would think that they would be working very hard early points in the game to try and get a bit of momentum. This is where I think you'll see the returners having a big advantage. Downwind.
Robin. Yeah. Go ahead.
Great depth from Roger Federer off that heavy hit ball from Soderling. You've got to expect that maybe Soderling has a little bit of more firepower down that far end. Again, it's depth that wins that point from Robin Soderling.
He's certainly, Roger Federer is certainly hitting his backhand with hitting the topspin backhand a lot more now that he's being coached by Paul Annacone. That's been in the last month or so. He used to just chip with and get the slice backhand happening, but he seems to be more aggressive with that shot. Well, this is good from Federer. Great anticipation.
Great anticipation, as you said, Josh. This one here, good little turn. Gets unlucky with the let cord. Soderling could go either way with that one. Good wheels and great racket head acceleration from Federer. Turn defense into offense. That's a heavy serve from Soderling against the win at 131. That's the power of the man. He has the ability just to hit straight through the wind. He walks around the court like he owns the court, doesn't he, Robin Soderling? He's not intimidated at all by Roger Federer. That's a good trait to have. There's that ball just sailing long. If you don't get it completely right with the wind, it will sail long. A game point here for Soderling to take a 3-2 lead first set.
And he does. Holding serve from the difficult end. Robin Soderling, the 5th seed, leads 3 games to 2 first set. Well, Wayne, we played a little bit of trivia with Nicole Pratt. Let's play a bit of trivia with the men. This is the last 10 years, the past champions in the men's side. Anything there that stands out? A little bit of a trait or something that you're spotting? Don't see anything?
Yes. First South American to win it.
That's good, but that's not it.
That's not it.
No.
You might have got me there.
Oh, well, they play the way that you don't play. They're all right-handed.
They're all right-handed, yes.
There you go. All right-handers in the last 10 years. Now, this is the question. Who was the last left-handed player to win the US Open men's title? And no, mate, it's not you.
Damn it. I dreamt about it one time.
Any idea?
I'm going to say John McEnroe.
I think I would agree with that. I think it's got to be John McEnroe,
Either
hasn't
Jimmy
it?
Collins, John McEnroe.
John McEnroe.
There we go.
Back in 1984. So John McEnroe, the last left-handed player to win the US Open. Fernando Verdasco and Nadal still lurking in the draw, left-handers.
Well, my money's on Nadal to stop that trend.
You think so, do you?
Yeah, I like his
This year?
form. Yeah, I like his form, like his draw opening up. This could turn into a real battle for Roger Federer. And Rafa's, he just looks very ominous, I reckon.
Federer's got to get through this match first. And he's at the difficult end to serve. Looks a little uptight, a little nervous, Federer.
He's not coming off his strings. Normally he comes out straight off the bat and it's straight through the middle of the racket. Very crisp. Well, that point for me illustrates the perfect example of how to play in the wind from both players. Soderling is giving a little bit more margin with the wind, and Federer is hitting straight through the wind from the other end. And as you can see, if you drop one short from the Federer end, you're put under total pressure from the heavy ball that's hit from the Soderling end. You're going to see that sort of type of play over and over, I think, in this match.
I thought we may see Federer slice a bit from that end.
Yeah, I reckon if his topspin backhand's not working up that far end, he'll employ the slice a little bit, try and move Soderling up and back in the court. He doesn't like that sort of sensation. He likes to just pound it from the baseline.
Well, that's good feet from Federer. Quick to get up to the short ball. Taking time away here from Soderling.
He's going for the topspin volley there. He probably hit an out ball. Feeling confident enough to come and go for the swinging volley. Just getting it slightly wrong. Still a game point for Federer.
On the right near, borrow what's going in.
Challenge here from Soderling. And that's just wide, as close as you can get.
Second serve.
That's a good eye, isn't it, from Soderling?
Not too many double faults hit from Roger Federer at this year's US Open. I think only 2 or 3. Started this match and already 2, so tricky conditions. He's in a bit of trouble here, Federer. Down at break point, ball skidding off the line.
Been caught a couple of times from the depth of Soderling so far.
Oh, it's unbelievable hands from Federer. Half volley on the baseline, down break point.
Yes.
That's the magician at work, isn't it? Refusing to give any ground on this shot here. And just a whip of the racket. And Soderling, look, he gets a great hit on it. Even though it goes long, he hit that really hard, Soderling. Good first serve again from Federer. Another game point. He's had a couple of tough service games, especially down the ends he is now.
Smart serve here from Federer. Big kicker out wide, gets the job done. 3 games all. First set. Certainly feels the occasion feels a lot bigger than a quarter-final clash, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think there's a real sense of anticipation that Robin Soderling could upset the apple cart here. He is the biggest danger in the draw to the top 3 seeds, Robin Soderling. He knows this is a danger match, Roger Federer. It's the combination that has got him to number 5 in the world. That big first serve. It's Wayne Gretzky, the great man. Not a bad hockey player, was he?
No, he was one of the all-time greats. Ice hockey.
15-0.
He's employed that body serve a couple of times, Soderling. I think it's a good choice in the wind. Just, he might get that little gust and it makes it a very difficult return for the opposition.
And there's the first time we have seen a slice from Federer from this end, and I like it. I think the ball's going to sit. It's going to probably shoot on through a little bit and stay low. So it's hard for the big man Soderling to get up and get under it and then rip it and get it back in the court.
Yeah, it's a good play if you can get it out of the strike zone of Soderling. The ball will dip and it will just prop and stop.
Federer, he's a genius. It's like a sandwich, this chip lob off the backhand.
34.
He just threw it up high enough that the wind hit it and it dropped in.
Super defensive skills from Roger Federer.
Great control.
Using the wind to his advantage there. Earning himself a break point.
Federer, he's a genius. Gets the first break of the match. Wayne Gretzky likes it. We like it here. And he leads 4 games to 3. So this is the point, break point. Federer showing plenty of poise and control.
That's just wizardry, isn't it? From Roger Federer.
Unbelievable. Look at that. That ball has bounced 14 times before Soderling even gets there. That's how good this drop shot was.
And he's just employed a little change of tactics, Roger Federer, in the last couple of games, showing all his guile on that shot there. Even leading up to it, he's sliced a couple of short to Robin Soderling, put him out of his comfort zone.
So there's the service game's won. Rafa Nadal has not lost serve. And now Federer serving at 4-3 with new balls and at the good end with the wind behind his back.
It was against the run of play a little bit, wasn't it? That first Soderling actually dropped serve there, but it was just a little slight change of pace and spin from Federer.
He was probably had the better of the two, didn't he, until that stage, Soderling.
Yeah, he created a few more chances than Roger Federer. But the great match player that he is finds a way and now leads 4-3 with a break and 30 love.
Just so difficult to beat Federer, isn't he? If he gets this first set, he's just a difficult man then to beat. as he holds to love.
That's good consolidation of the break from Roger Federer. A quick game, throw the balls down the other end, put the ascendancy straight back on Soderling's racket.
He'll work hard here, won't he, to try and break from this end so he can serve first in the second. Also knowing that it is a difficult end where he will have to go down and serve it out if Soderling is to hold.
It can be quite difficult to return when you're going with the wind. The ball just props on you sometimes, as it did there. And 136 that serve into the wind. He's got some firepower, hasn't he, Robin Soderling? He's urging himself on there. Be a bit shell-shocked losing his serve after making all the running. Doing a good job of closing the gap. Making Federer serve from the tricky end. Try and close out the set.
Well done, Robin Soderling, hanging in this first set, but it's Federer with a lead. And when we come back, he will try and close out this first set. That's a great shot there of this enormous stadium, Arthur Ashe Stadium, 24,000 people at seats, and it's very full tonight because two of the big guns of world tennis in action. It's men's quarterfinals here at the US Open. Robin Soderling and Roger Federer. The match beforehand, we had Caroline Wozniacki, the top seed in the women's, go through in straight sets over Dominique Cibulkova. So she is through to the semi-finals, the #1 seed of the women's. And it's Federer with a 5-4 lead, serving to take the first set.
He's found his way back into this set, Roger Federer. Soderling's gone 0 from 4 in the break points. Federer's gone 1 from 1. That's been the difference. And his first serve percentage also has been excellent. Up at 70% for the match so far. Quick fire service game. Roger Federer has 3 set points. Take this first set.
So Roger Federer, the #2 player in the world, has taken the first set in 36 minutes, and he'd be relieved because it was a good start from Soderling. Federer weathering the storm early on, saving break points in a couple of service games. But in the end, the #2 seed Federer really served brilliantly to take that opening set. 71% of first serves in. Roger Federer, 29 years old, 63 singles titles. He's already won 5 of these US Open titles. Currently ranked #2. And this is some stat, 44th straight Grand Slam. Longest active streak, 16 titles. And that record, 207 wins and 29 losses. Unbelievable. Most successful active player on hard courts, 41 titles, chasing Andre Agassi with 46 titles. And we think that he will probably get there.
You'd imagine that he'd win a few more hard court titles in his career, but that 44th straight Grand Slam, it just shows.
The big stat is the 26 consecutive quarterfinal appearances. That's the stat. He's actually chasing Jimmy Connors, though. I think has got 27 consecutive quarterfinal.
Yeah, it's certainly an unbelievable record that he has with the durability of the man. To be able to play 44 consecutive Grand Slams in a row without any injury.
So that's 11 years.
Testament to his doctors and everyone that goes around and has anything to do with Roger Federer.
Yeah, it's his 26th consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinal. Jimmy Connors is the only man who's appeared in more consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinals than Federer, and that's 27.
It's a remarkable record.
He'll get there in Australia at the Australian Open. Don't you worry.
15 up.
Well, it's important for Soderling to not be disheartened. I'm sure he won't be by losing that first set.
Not too good.
That's where Roger Federer excels, when you have to just improvise just a little bit. You see Robin Soderling running off this is a little bit awkward when he comes forward, and Roger Federer just flicks that off his hip. Easy as you like. Oh, it's an incredible pass by Robin Soderling.
30-15.
Just the ability to change direction. That's a good little scoop there. There's not much wrong with this approach shot. Just great strength to be able to hit that ball down the line from that position. Just didn't get that slice out of the hitting zone. Soderling just had to take 1 or 2 steps to hit that one. It's the one where Soderling has to run forward and wide at the same time. That'll get him into trouble. A couple of game points here for Soderling.
Good start for Robin Soderling. Takes the opening game of the second set.
Soderling's first serve percentage is 60%, so it's not bad.
Let's take a look at those stats here. This is Federer excelling at 71%. 6 aces and served well when he was down the break points. A couple of double faults, which is rare for Federer. The unforced errors up, but also the winners.
Big stat for me there. Robin Soderling 0 aces. He normally has a very high ace count.
Well, that's probably due to the wind, isn't it? He's got a very high ball toss. Probably a little more disrupted. This is the drop shot. Did the damage to get the break. It was a beauty. 2 aces to start the game.
8-0, that's a big discrepancy for someone who relies on his serve so much, as Robin Soderling does. Testament to Roger Federer's returning skills. Has a very good ability, as the top players do, to get the ball back in play and read the ball off the strings of the opponent's serve.
Well, some quick service games here from both players to start the second set.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 service games from Roger Federer, he's hardly lost a point. Just doesn't seem to be out of second gear even yet. It's amazing the ability that he has. He just doesn't look stressed out in the court. The only player that seems to stress him or put him under any kind of physical pressure is the Rafa. Otherwise, he generally doesn't have a hair out of place. It's back-to-back miss hits from Roger Federer. Don't see that very often. As you can see, as we said before, it's very gusty and the ball just props. Just gets out of your hitting zone on the odd occasion. Skidding off the line. Good depth from Federer. That just came straight out of the middle of the strings, just flying with the breeze. You really got to wrap the racket head over the ball with the breeze. Keep the spin on, keep it down and in the court. Federer showing his guile there, extending the big man to both angles of the court, and then just not putting that backhand into a spot, which is very tough to reach for Soderling. He doesn't want to have too many of those sort of rallies, Soderling, where he's behind the 8 ball, wearing himself out.
So Federer back to deuce.
Danger times here for Robin Soderling. Did not want to let Federer get a stranglehold in this second set.
Oh, it's too good from Federer. Very strong on the defense. Brings up break point.
There's that ability, Josh, to get the return. It was a big serve straight out of the middle of the racket. It's pretty good percentage, 1 from 1. You see Soderling creating more chances. Big point in the context of this match.
A double fault, so Federer gets the break and he leads 6-4, 2-1. He's in control here. Wayne Arthurs, let's play a bit more trivia. Here at Fox Sports, Sampras was seeded number 17 when he won the 2002 Open. He beat, not sure who he beat, but who was the last double-digit seed to win before him from the 90s? He beat Agassi, Sampras, in that final. So who was the last player, double-digit seed, to win before him?
Any clues, Josh?
I don't know the answer. I'm guessing. The hint, it's in the 90s. I'm guessing it's Pat Rafter in 97.
Good guess, I like it. We go with that one. There we go.
Oh, yes. There you go. That was a big win. That really... Got another question.
First of back-to-backs there for Pat Rafter.
Yeah. Highest seed to win men's title. Beat Sampras in 2001, Rafter in 97, Sampras in 90, and Nuke back in 73.
Well, the Aussie's doing well there. Do you reckon Nuke drew a line in the sand?
He went with them till 5-all, and then he looked them in the eye Nuke would have beaten back in 73. Do you know, Wayne?
Would have been another Aussie, wouldn't it? Back in those days.
Not sure.
Jan Kodej, I reckon.
No. It was Jan Kodej. Well done, Wayne.
Now 15.
Oh, how accurate was that return from Robin Soderling? It's a tough shot to make, this inside-out backhand return up the line. But he has that skill off the backhand.
Just served so brilliantly all night, Federer.
15.
He's at 74%. The first serves in.
He can just go to the well, can't he? Under pressure, just always seems to make that first serve. Case in point there, he makes another one.
And it's just building pressure, isn't it, on Robin Soderling? He's not getting any free points. He's feeling the pressure on his own serve.
Of the 4 points that Robin Soderling had on break points, Federer served exceptionally well. He didn't give him a chance at all.
Well, he's got another break point here.
30.
He's had 4 in the first set.
If he's to get back in this match, this needs to be a conversion for Soderling. Here's a big chance.
He gets it. Well, Federer would love to have this short forehand again.
He got the reply that he wanted, didn't he, Federer?
Just pushed it.
He is the best in the world, I reckon, of creating pace off that shot. Soderling. Uncanny ability to hit the ball extremely hard from end range, just flips that left hand through the ball.
Well, back to 2-all now. Change in momentum. Well, against most players, he would have won the point with that forehand down the line.
We don't see Roger Federer often making a strange choice of shot. And the frustration of losing his serve. Again, he did have him, but the wind just taking it wide. The wind is going from left to right as you look at the screen. Federer just a little bit rattled here. It's a good job from Soderling to get back on even terms. Good fighting qualities, which he's displayed over the last 18 months. Hence his ranking has shot up to number 5 in the world. He was very susceptible early on in his career to just imploding when things went wrong. And think Magnus Norman can be attributed to that. He was a very sound character when he played.
Well, he was probably taking this a little too easy.
Just didn't quite bounce as high as he thought. He had a very frying pan grip on that one.
Well, a few unforced errors creeping into the game now.
You just can't set your feet too early in this breeze. You've got to get to the pitch of the ball. You've got to have that little light steps around the ball. Soderling just took the big plant on the left and right leg. Ball didn't come to him. Meets it up the end of the racket.
Juice, 3 consecutive points here for the Federer.
Yes.
Testing times here for Soderling. Love up in this game.
He's just got a little tentative from this end. The wind really coming strong behind his back. Got to keep swinging. He's decelerating through the shot.
He's missed that low backhand a few times, hasn't he, Soderling? He just has to come up in the court. The ball staying low. The big man can't get down to it. Break point, Federer.
Oh, Federer. Take a bow. So the number 2 seed, Roger Federer, gets the re-break. He leads 6-4, 3-2, second set. Well, we've got a full house tonight, as you would expect, for Roger Federer in action under the lights here in the Big Apple. Quarterfinals up against Robin Soderling. A little bit of niggle at the start of this match between the two boys. Soderling just asking Federer whether he was going to take one of the points on a challenge. He's trying to get underneath his skin, and he's responded magnificently. Roger Federer leads a set and a break.
It was a costly miss, wasn't it? That smash that Soderling missed in that last game. He was 40 love up. Missed an easy smash. Opened the door for Federer.
15 up.
Who played a magnificent point in the last point of that game to break.
Well, he's played those break points so well, and you'd expect that he'd be really knuckling down here to consolidate the break after losing his serve last time.
Still an amazing statistic, that one. Robin Soderling not one ace in nearly 2 sets. I don't think he'd gone through too many matches in his career having not served an ace. It just shows that this man has a great ability to get his racket on the ball, get the ball back in play. Another ace there from Federer, number 10. It's a shake of the head from Soderling. It's shell-shocked after losing that last game. So Federer on a little streak there, wins 9 points in a row to take a 4-2 lead and a set up. Soderling just has to regroup here. He's lost his way. Federer, as always, change of racket. Most players come out on the court with about 8 to 10 rackets. Most of them strung at the same tension, possibly a couple at different tensions. A little drop in the atmosphere, temperature. Might have a couple tighter, a couple looser, depending on the conditions. Strange return from Federer. Wrapping the frame round that one.
Well, pressure starting to mount here on Soderling, running out of time. I'd say Federer just 8 points away from taking a 2-sets-to-love lead. Pretty much unstoppable from that position. He's just been a little bit one-dimensional, Soderling, for my liking tonight. He hasn't been able to mix it up, adjust to the conditions quite like Federer has.
That's what makes Federer so good. He is able to adjust with his hand skills. His hand set is so good.
So Robin Soderling holding to love, but he's in a bit of trouble. Federer leading 6-4, 4-3 with a break. So Robin Soderling, major breakthrough was at the Grand Slam last year at the French Open, where he beat Nadal. And this year he actually lost to Nadal in the final, but it was the big win against Nadal at the French Open that really got a roll on for Robin Soderling. He reached the quarterfinals at Wimbledon, where he lost to Nadal. And look at that Grand Slam record in 2010, 14-3. He's bidding to become the 6th Swedish man to reach the US Open semi-final. And I think at the Australian Open, Wayne, he had to pull out with a wrist injury.
Yeah, he did. He, ever since then, his record in the Grand Slams this year has been excellent.
How many Swedish winners do you think there's been in the Open era?
I reckon there's probably about 3. Edberg twice, Mats Wilander once.
What about Borgie? No, he didn't win, did he?
Borg never won here, did he?
So how many do you think?
3. Or 2, because Edberg won it twice.
91-92 Edberg won, well done. Wilander 88 when he won 3 of the 4 Grand Slams that year. So Federer with a set and a break, serving at the difficult end.
Ace number 11 for Federer. Easy as you like. No stress at all on that service motion. Looks like he could do it for about 14, 15 sets without ever getting tired. Well, Josh, apart from the game that he lost serve, all the other service games have been relatively easy. And he's steamrolling through this game again. see there Federer just trying to fake Soderling out on that one. A little bit of body shimmy. Soderling not phased. Pummels that one up the line. Great serving from Federer in this game. First serve percentage for the match up at 72%. It's a hard man to stop when he has those sort of numbers.
Heavy hitting here from Soderling. Federer trying to stay up on the baseline, shorten his swing, and he was beaten for pace. So Federer getting a good hold in there because it's a difficult end to hold serve from. 6-4, 5-3 lead.
For me, Josh, the biggest discrepancy of this match relative to the matches that Soderling has played against Federer, where he's had a bit of success, is his first serve average speed is only 119 miles an hour. He's normally up at about 128, I would suggest.
Yeah,
he's actually being outserved in terms of speed by Roger Federer.
Yeah, that's under 200. That's around 190 kilometres an hour he's serving at.
And for a man who relies so heavily on his first serve and putting that first strike on the ball, if the serve does come back, it's a big problem for Robin Soderling. Certainly the crowd has not been a factor yet. They want to see a contest. They want to see Soderling get back into this match. That's what we're used to from Soderling. That massive forehand. They can create winners from any part of the court. He can whip it both off and cross his body.
Well done, just flighting a little better here. In the previous service game that he lost, he was decelerating through the shot, didn't have the feet moving, he was too careful. Much more aggressive Robin Soderling. Game point. So Robin Soderling hanging on, but only just. Roger Federer leads 6-4, 5-4 with a break. So the world number one in very good form, Rafael Nadal, he takes on Fernando Verdasco, and he's bidding to win his first ever US Open title. He's won every other Grand Slam, but he has not won the US Open, but he's in good form. And we've got Stanislav Wawrinka, the 25th seed from Switzerland, taking on Mikhail Yuzny. So there are our matches tomorrow, right here on Fox Sports. But at the moment, it's the Fed trying to take a 2-sets-to-love lead here.
That's the perfect start
15
for the world number 2, 5-time champion of the US Open. Good 1-2 combination going in behind the big man. He's got a big turning circle, Robin Soderling. Couldn't get back for that one.
Oh, unbelievable.
Some more poetry from Roger Federer. Smoothest serve on the ATP Tour.
Smoother than yours?
I don't play anymore, Josh. And they can probably afford one of those, you would think, at 40 love up. Still a couple of set points.
There's still 2 more to go. You'd think that he'd want to finish it off here, though. Right, he does. Roger Federer struts his stuff here at the US Open and takes a 2 sets to love lead. Roger Federer tonight. He has taken a 2 sets to love lead over the big hitting Swede Robin Soderling. Total aces there. It is Roger Federer with 13 and not one ace tonight for Soderling. And it's really a serving clinic here from Federer.
It certainly is. And Robin Soderling, not last time that he would have gone through 2 sets without serving one ace.
Maybe back in the under 10s.
On fire, isn't he?
Oh, I love it. It's good to see Federer in full flight. He has not lost a match ever in a night session, and this was a real challenge. A few people were asking the question of Roger Federer, but he has responded magnificently tonight.
And even though Soderling won that point, he's unable to create winners. For a man who relies on hitting a lot of winners, getting a lot of free points off his first serve, he's just not being able to find a way through the defensive skills of Roger Federer tonight. Interesting to see what sort of body language you can see him urging himself on there that Soderling brings over the next 15-20 minutes. You can see the tactic Federer is trying to employ there. Just hit that slice deep and then bring Soderling short in the court. He's missed that a couple of times. Just finding it very difficult to get the ball past Soderling tonight. You can see he's flailing his racket round. He's not happy with the conditions, Soderling. He loves the conditions to be very serene so he can just set up and hit the ball. Use his big weapons from both sides, but Just not a pretty scene at the moment for Soderling. An important hold for Robin Soderling, first game of the third set.
Third set.
Welcome Wally Masil to the microphone.
And it's pretty comprehensive so far for Federer, just on the scoreboard and statistically. No double faults. 12 winners to Soderling's 8, just the 8 unforced errors, so reverse there, 12 unforced errors for Soderling. But I agree with what you're saying, Wayne. I think psychologically it's hurting Soderling because he's used to aces. He loves getting that first strike in. Guy blocks his serve back, just crushes a winner. He's just not getting that opportunity. He's not being allowed to play his game. I think psychologically it's very damaging to him. Could have been different had he converted early in the first set. He had 4 break points, couldn't convert. And then Federer got his opportunity and grabbed it.
Yeah, we certainly, Josh and I certainly call it as a big momentum shift if he didn't get that game, and it has proved true.
So there's Federer doing a Soderling on Soderling. There's Magnus Norman on the right, former number 2 player from Sweden. Very cool, calm sort of character. He's had a good influence on Soderling. He's a bit of a hothead. Next to him is Pierre Herquist, former player. He's now an agent. Was that in?
That was a ridiculous shot.
How does he do this? He fires half volleys and just turns the point around completely. Extraordinary.
No other person on the tour has that ability to hit that shot.
You know, Agassi could do that. He could just throw the racket head at the ball on a half volley, but Federer for the single-hander. Incredible. Done it again. So you'd be happy with that return, wouldn't you?
Robin, new challenge. Game, Federer.
He's basically stuffed that return at Federer's feet. He'd be pretty happy with that, and it comes back twice as fast.
Yeah, I'd expect a bit of a floating ball on the reply from any other opponent. Federer just whips his hand down, flicks it back straight back to his opponent as fast. His radar's been a little bit off, I think, Soderling. He's not willing to hit the ball into the corners because of the wind situation. But Federer's passed there, just one step, flick of the wrist, easy as you like.
Not a bad shot for a single-hander, is it? The timing had to be perfect. It was. Crowd are in raptures. Every time Federer does something, they're waiting for the impossible.
15 all.
A little volley off the hip there. Thought he had him here. Good run by Soderling. Just possibly the wind just taking that one out.
It's a big ask now for Soderling. He's got to win 3 straight sets against Federer. Who can do that?
Doesn't happen very often, does it?
Nadal's done it to him. At the French.
First service.
Wayne, it's definitely better conditions out there than when the 2 girls played earlier, Wozniacki and Cibulkova. The wind's died down a bit, but it's still a factor, and I think it's hurting Soderling. He just doesn't have the subtleties in his game necessarily.
No, he's very one-dimensional, isn't he? If the ball does need a bit of improvisation, He just doesn't have that skill set.
Seen it a bit with his backhand slice, his blocked return. Just doesn't have full control of some of those shots. Just see there the wind tugging at his shirt, and I also agree with what you said. Because of the wind, when he's playing well, he takes the line on time and time again. He's very accurate, but we haven't seen that tonight, so he's not getting his winners or his forced errors. Big serve, cheap point there from Soderling. 126 miles an hour out wide. It's on serve here in the third. Soderling leading 2-1. Welcome back to the US Open. It's men's quarter-final action. Roger Federer doing it pretty comfortably at the moment. 10:53 in the evening here in New York. Federer is undefeated in night play here at Flushing Meadows. Just loves the environment. All the celebs come out to play. We've had Wayne Gretzky, Donald Trump, Gwen Stefani, just to name a few. And Federer putting on a masterclass here, trailing 1-2 in the third on serve. He's taken the first two, 4 and 4.
Lofty.
You can hear the crowd want to urge Robin Soderling on. They want to see a real contest out here.
A big gust. Just hits the backstop.
And it used to be if you swung at the ball, as Federer did there, it was a fault.
I think if your racket passes your head, as in you swing past your head, did he pass his head?
I think that used to be the rule, but I've seen it on the odd occasion out in the tour where guys swing and then catch it on their racket, and it's not a fault. They're pretty liberal with that rule. I'm with you, Well, if you throw the ball up, that's part of your swing. You've got to hit the ball.
Well, I actually think that should be a rule. I don't think you should be allowed to throw the ball up 2 and 3 times. Be a bit rough on a night like tonight, but same for both players. Hard volley this time, not finding the mark. And another surprising little stat here is the fastest serve. It's Federer at 129 miles an hour. And Soderling at 136 average speeds. Federer's ahead for the match. That I find surprising.
Yeah, that's detrimental to Soderling's game. He's used to being the dictator on serve, used to having a service speed average of probably around the plus 125, 128 mark.
Good accuracy there.
I just think the conditions have hurt Soderling far more than they have hurt Roger Federer tonight. Just because Soderling's just a little bit too one-dimensional. Whereas Federer, he sees it as a challenge.
Soderling challenged that. This is well in. Let's just throw up. Not so well in, but it's in. Bit of frustration there. Consecutive aces from Federer gives him the game, 2-all.
Mr. Soderling has 2 challenges remaining.
He'll be disappointed with that one.
When I watch Federer play, to me, he's got his body is as relaxed as if he's just playing a practice match out on one of the outer courts here a couple of days before the tournament. It's a quarter-final. Most people are wound up like a spring and play with a bit of nerves, a bit of tension, but Federer, I've never seen his racket head lose speed. He mightn't play well, but he never decelerates or pushes. Always completely relaxed, very elastic. may not be relaxed inside, but he can always convince himself just to fire the racket.
Great stuff from Roger Federer. Great anticipation. And there's that smash again from Soderling. He has not got a good smash.
Got the wrong grip, hasn't he?
Yeah, totally wrong grip. Very frying pan. He held that grip for the volley as well.
Plus, I think he holds the racket a bit like an axe. I mean, he crushes that thing. So when you have to manipulate the racket head on a volley like that, it's not there.
Yeah, it's totally opposite of the way Federer would be holding it like a feather. As his first ace for the match for Robin Soderling. It's taken 2.5 sets. And I think he knows it. Game point here for Soderling to take a 3-2 lead. Keep his nose in front in this third set.
The shooter, Federer catches the edge of the frame, sends it well long. Soderling holds. He leads 3-2 here in the third set. Federer has taken the first two. Shot from up on high here. It's about where we commentate from on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Big stadium, seats 24,000 people. Would have been about 22,000 here tonight, just about capacity to see Roger Federer. They love him here in New York, and he doesn't disappoint. More often than not, he puts on a great show here under lights on Arthur Ashe Stadium. Tonight, it's no different. Difficult conditions. Federer has handled it, or them, beautifully. It's a little subdued. The reason for that is just the quality of Federer's play. 3-2, Soderling, third set.
Big hitting from both players. Absolutely cracking the ball. It's Federer who prevailed in the end. But just for me, you could see there Soderling. If he had a little bit more confidence, he'd be firing those balls into the corner. Whereas he's hitting a lot more balls just straight through the middle of the court. And it has hurt him over the journey of this match.
Once again, in that previous rally, I've come to the conclusion that Roger Federer has the world's best half volley for the baseline. A couple of times there, he just fired the racket. He hits it cleanly every time.
And he's not using an oversized racket as well. He's got a very small head on his racket, so his hand-eye coordination must be extraordinary.
Long, just long. Thought Roger could have maybe just put this one right through Soderling.
Thought it was coming, didn't you? This one here, he had a big opportunity just to drill Soderling with that one.
Didn't need to. Another accurate first serve. He is serving beautifully here tonight, Roger Federer.
And he's up at 80% for this service, for this set. 71% overall for the match.
15 aces, plenty of unreturnables. It's been a real serving display. Change of frame, new balls. You can see there, Federer uses gut in the main. There's Paul Annacone on the right, the new man in his corner. Not full-time, he's still employed by the British LTA. It'll start full-time next year.
Yes, his contract with the LTA ends at the end of the year.
Federer uses gut in the mains. He has polys in the cross, and he has a few little string savers just placed strategically. It's pretty unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, that poly would cut through the gut pretty easily, so he doesn't want to risk having a broken string maybe on a vital point. He just throws in a few string savers just for good measure.
Soderling starting to find the mark now. It had taken 1.5 hours before he served his first ace. Now he's got 2. Accuracy not there for Soderling.
See, for me, when Soderling is on his game and full of confidence, he would just fire that backhand right into the opposite corner. Just very tentative in this.
Is his stock in trade. Big, heavy first serve, and then he just fires the next ball for a winner. We see that plenty of times from Soderling throughout the course of the year. Has not been able to construct that point so often tonight.
Well, that was 138. Where's that been all night? Even though I missed it.
Soderling, 2 aces, 2 double faults. Very quiet stats for him. Federer a little more impressive. 15 aces, 2 double faults.
Would have been a masterclass from Federer. Unfortunately, he missed that last shot. Soderling holds serve. It's a 4-3 lead in the third set.
How was the drop shot? Not only had backspin, a little bit of side spin. Soderling did well to get it in the end. I think he surprised Federer with the quality of his get.
He has improved his movement, hasn't he? He needed to, because it was pretty stagnant, his movement. And that's been another string to his bow, hence the rise in the rankings.
It's definitely all come together for Soderling. He kind of thought when he made that French Open final was that a bit of flash in the pan last year, but has absolutely consolidated his game since then. Let's have a look at these consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinals appearances. Of course, Federer's on a live streak there at 26. He'll equal Jimmy Connors if he can manage the same feat at the Australian Open. Connors at 27, Lendl 14, Borg 12, Sampras 11, so he is in pretty illustrious company there. When you consider just how dominant those players were in their era, and then you see the numbers that Rogers posted in so many facets of the game, it's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
You just see the durability of those top two. Jimmy Connors played until he was 40 years old, and Roger Federer, he's just does not seem to get injured, and hence he's had 44 consecutive Grand Slam appearances. For a number one who played that much throughout a year, it's pretty impressive.
But let me throw this one at you, Wayno. When you're that good, when you're Roger Federer, let's be honest, how much of the time are you under stress, physical stress in a match? How many times are you being pushed around? A lot less than your rank and file player.
Yeah, that's true. You can see he's in a quarterfinal here, and the stress levels are
minimal.
Minimal, yes.
Consider Leighton Hewitt, who's also a #1 player for a couple of years, but completely different game. I used to get sore watching him play. The effort he put in.
Totally different style of play that Leighton employed. Very physical on his body.
The stinging reply there from Soderling.
15-0.
I used to play Lendl, and everyone would say to me after the match, gee, Lendl's so fit. And I thought, yeah, but I did all the running. He just stood there and clubbed balls from side to side. Federer too. Sometimes when he does go down, he kind of goes down swinging on his own terms. 15 all.
feel that Soderling his rate of shot has increased in the last 10 minutes. It might be due to the wind just dying off a little bit, feels more comfortable in his environment.
Well, we saw it with that first serve, didn't we? 138 miles an hour. Just missed, but signs that he was warming to his task.
On the left service line. Ball was called out.
Roger would be one of the most unsuccessful challengers in the game.
He's not good at it, is he?
That is 6 inches long.
It's a bad eye. That's what that is. That's a quality second serve from Roger Federer, getting it out of the strike zone of Soderling. Good kick, good bite, good flight more than anything on that kick serve. Just like a good Shane Warne leg break. Needs that flight for the ball to come down and then kick off the turf. Well, out of nowhere, Robin Soderling has got himself a break point here. All of a sudden, the comfort zone of Roger Federer. A little bit hot under the collar.
And the first serve just not finding its mark in this game. Soderling getting into the rallying situation. Another second serve opportunity.
There it is, Robin Soderling has got the vital break in this third set. He leads 5-3. Good fighting spirit shown by Soderling.
It was all down to the first serve. Federer had been so solid on first serve that Soderling just couldn't get in to the points, let alone the games. And all of a sudden, Federer not finding the mark with the first serve. Soderling pounced. So, Soderling now serving for the third set. How will the Federer respond? That's the question.
He's just finding his voice, isn't he? Soderling, out of nowhere, his shot
15-0.
pace has really increased. It's the first time he's actually been able to put Federer under any stress at all. Again, finding his range on that first serve.
30-15.
Robin Soderling 2 points away from taking this third set.
His footwork's been good tonight. Federer looking to get around his backhand, use his forehand as much as possible. Sometimes he gets a little bit too reliant on the backhand. He's been pretty keen tonight to hit as many forehands as possible.
Good flight on that forehand from Roger Federer. Slight miss hit, but
30-40.
down with the wind there, just took it out of the hitting zone of Soderling. All of a sudden, creates a break point for himself. He's been perfect on break point so far in this match.
Continues to be perfect on break points. Federer straight back. Just when Soderling looked like he was getting a bit of momentum, Federer strikes. Still Soderling leading 5-4 here in the third. Looking out towards the back of the Arthur Ashe Stadium. It's Unisphere. Let's have a look at some stats here, Wayne. What do you make of that jumble?
Well, Soderling obviously only serving two aces for the whole match. That's just not the Soderling that we know. And the win is also a big discrepancy from Federer's racket, 33-14. That's probably including aces, and Federer served about 15 of those. So a dominant display, just a lapse in concentration from Federer to lose his serve. Back on hot, back on serve now though.
You can just see Federer, he'd mishit a forehand in the previous game, the one you said that was a nice flight. Once again, a slight mishit. So it's that different flight, the height of the bounce, and certainly the variables. He just doesn't deal with it as well. And Roger able to use his slice backhand as well in the breeze. Doesn't give Soderling much to look at.
Australia and the US Open are probably two of the windiest spots, but generally in Europe it was pretty calm conditions, so the Europeans, they don't come across conditions such as we had in the first week and a half of this tournament very often.
Just catching a top edge, that ball shooting through. Federer 15-30. It's about the first serve now. If Federer can just continue with that high first serve percentage, good chance to close this set out. If he doesn't, he might be in trouble.
He's down to 58% from the early stages where he was up at 80%. Just gone off the boil on his first serve recently. Extra sting on that forehand.
Just a little extra sting on that second serve too. And Wayne, for me, that point was won by Federer as Soderling voices his displeasure. The fact that he was willing to work hard to get around a forehand, set up this shot. I think in years or times gone by, he's been too keen just to rely on his backhand. And as good as it is, it's not as dangerous as that old forehand.
He certainly displayed a great willingness to get around that forehand tonight, and from that position, it favour Federer in the cat and mouse game 95% of the time.
Quality second serves there. His first serve has deserted him the last couple of games. 5-all.
5 games over. That's it.
Too high, that drop shot. Soderling making good ground, getting the ball above net level, and having the control of his racket head to push that down the line.
It's
a terrible ball toss on that one. The wind might have caught that one. Down 84%. You wouldn't see that too often. And Robin Soderling is serving more double faults than aces. What improvisation from Roger Federer. Deliberately brought Robin Soderling into the net here.
15-13.
A little cunning slice into the breeze. And Robin Soderling actually ran too far past that ball. It just propped and stopped.
That was just a little sand wedge, wasn't it, Wayne? From about 80 metres out. Just lots of spin on it, bouncing back towards the net almost. And talk about keeping Soderling off balance. How good is his half volley? Backhand half volley.
It's incredible off both sides. Hit a forehand one, then a backhand one.
15-14.
Gee, he just gives you a bit of everything, doesn't he? That lob that he hit on the previous point, inch perfect. Then he comes up with some defensive half volleys to stay alive. Powerful forehand. In the space of 2 rallies, he gives you a glimpse of his full repertoire. 2 break points.
What a point from both men. Huge raking forehand from Soderling up the line, and incredibly good defensive skills from Federer. And dispatches a very difficult ball with no pace on it right into the corner. Still another break point to face for Soderling.
Another brilliant return. 128 miles an hour at the serve. Federer just meets it cleanly out of the middle of the racket. Another breaker serve. He is in the driver's seat, Roger Federer. He leads 6-5, third set.
So Roger Federer has risen to the challenge here. He was down a break. Soderling serving for this third set. And he has responded beautifully, as we would expect. Federer now serving for a place in the semi-finals of the US Open. He's at the good end, Wayne. The wind is behind his back.
Let's see if he can find that first serve that's been so deadly, which has gone missing in the last 10-15 minutes.
Good start, 15 love here.
15 love.
Well, apart from that hiccup where he lost his serve in this third set, it's been a masterly display from Roger Federer.
Oh, there's a lot to like about his performance tonight. The feet have been excellent. He's been keen, quick to get into position. And this has been a dominating display. Just sending out a little subtle message there to the Nadals and Djokovic's who would be watching this.
Just setting a little, I'm still around, boys. Don't count me out now.
Triple match point for the Fed. He'll love every minute of this win too, won't he? He will really enjoy. And he does.